All right, YouTube. I am back in action and have some really exciting stuff coming for all of you very soon. So, for those of you that are taking some kind of coding course or web development course or something like that, you've probably hit the weather API. I think it's called openweatherapi.com or something, like a gajillion times, right? And you're probably like, okay, it's useful, it's live data, but you might be wanting to build something a bit more interesting. So Anna put a lot of work into coming up with a big list of public and open APIs. So if you're doing any kind of like web development, trying to make your own app, or you just want to take a peek at some different APIs to see if there's any useful information for yourself, or you don't know what an API is and you want to see what it is, stay tuned. On this big list of free and open APIs, obviously, one of the first things that comes up is a weather forecast. We have a cocktails database, lots of crypto data. You can, of course, cats. What's the internet without a cats API? Different things about your IP address, iTunes search, lots and lots of different endpoints here. Daily page views for a page on Wikipedia, zip code information, so on and so on, right? As a developer, there's a couple of tools that you can use at your disposal for playing with API data and kind of looking at it and doing different things with it. So for me, in general, what I like to do is if I see like an API here and I want to get a quick look at it just to understand what's in the data or what the structure is like, I like to use a tool called JSON Viewer. It's as simple as it sounds. APIs will return JSON, so you want to have a JSON viewer to view that data. And this is just a Chrome extension, so anytime you click on an API in your browser, it will pop open that data in a new tab just like this and display that data in a pretty format. So I already have a copy. So let's just say I want to look at some random user API data, for example, right? So when I click on that, we'll put the results out kind of very neatly so you can see the key and value pairs and any nested objects that are in that. So I highly recommend using this tool for just getting a quick look at your API data. Another tool that I like to use that actually is a website that works directly in your browser is called Swagger Inspector. So if you pop open this link here, I'll also put that in the description. Basically what you can do is you can grab that URL and you can paste it here in the Git, and when you send that, it will do pretty much the same thing. It's going to pretty print your JSON data so that you can quickly look through it and see what your key and value pairs are for that given endpoint. And related to Swagger, another tool that's even a bit more powerful that you need to install on your local machine is called Postman. So Postman is a free tool that you can use to get posts, do all kinds of API manipulation. And you don't need to put in your email address. I'll show you the secret. Right here where it says download the desktop app, just click on the one that's corresponding to your machine. I already have a copy of it open, so I'll show you how to use it briefly. So this is what the Postman UI looks like. You can add a new request here, and I'll go ahead and just paste in that same request here, and then when I hit send, it's going to pretty print it. Yay! So I can see, you can look at the raw data too, but oh, nobody wants that. No, nobody wants to see that. Get that out of here. And last but not least, and the reason why I'm here is to show you how to use API connector for accessing these different open APIs. So if you're new to web development, or you just want to get your data into a format like Google Sheets to be able to look at graphs of your data, or to potentially connect it with AppSheet, or some other kind of database-like functionality, API connector is the tool for you. So API connector is a add-on for Google Sheets that's free to use. When you first sign up, you get a 14-day pro version, so you can do some more advanced functionality. So if you don't have it yet, go ahead and check it out. And API connector is essentially an extension for Google Sheets that allows you to interface with that API data and dump it into a Sheets format. So you've been looking at the data and it's kind of raw JSON, albeit prettified version, but that might be the format that you want for your particular use case. So what API connector can do is actually dump that data directly into a sheet for you to do some analytics or any other kinds of things like that. So if you've been following this channel, we've just pushed out a big UX update for API connector. So if you're using a popular API, you no longer need to necessarily copy and paste the endpoints anymore. You can just type in a keyword and it should pop directly to what you want. So just as an example, let's take a look at the Open Brewery Database, for example, right? So if I type in brewery, you'll see that can immediately fill out everything just by selecting the Open Brewery DB, and it will actually automatically make a new sheet for you as well. So everything else is ready to go. So we can just hit save and run, and we're gonna dump all of that brewery data right here in Google Sheets. No JSON, no having to prettify things. This data is ready to go. So we can see that a lot of these breweries are from the US. So if we want to display this data in a more visual way, Google Sheets actually has a chart type that is, okay, that's not what I was looking for. Not this kind of chart. There's actually a geo chart that we can pop in. And then, so we've chosen our region as state. So it's looking at the world right now, but what we can do under customize is change this region to the United States, and bam, there we go. So we can see that Texas has the most breweries, not a surprise being one of the bigger states. And then, we can see some of the other states have just one or none from this particular API endpoint. Obviously, there's breweries in Wyoming and Idaho. Am I getting my geography right? Sorry, I'm from the East Coast. Okay, so for the next use case, let's say I have a list of friends here, Jason, Ethan, Emily, and Addie, and I want to guess what their age is. There's an API for that, and probably also an app. So if I open up API connector and head over here, I can go ahead and add new. And using our quick search functionality, we can search for Ageify. And now I'll introduce you to the triple plus syntax. So triple plus syntax is API connector's way of being able to reference dynamic values inside of Google Sheets. So just like in Google Sheets, when I want to reference a dynamic value, I first start by putting in the name of the sheet with an exclamation point, followed by any of the cells that I need to reference. So make sure you open and close that with 3 plus signs. Once you've done that, we can have the destination sheet go to a new one. That's okay, because we're going to reference these and then actually output the API over here. So let's just name this predict age. This is too long. I don't like that. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and run it. And then we'll see shortly, I've created a new sheet, and we will see the endpoint return our values. Jason's not 52. The last use case I'll introduce you to is actually pulling image data. So most of the time on the internet, when an API is communicating image data back and forth, it won't actually put an image in that JSON file. It will put a link to the image, and then whatever program that you're using will digest that image and display it for your users. So let's take a look at the random dog image API, because why not? If we type in here, we just type dog, we can probably see get link to a random dog image. So if we click on that, note there are no curly braces around anything, so we don't need to put any values in here. We're going to create a new sheet that's linked to a random dog, and then we'll go ahead and run that now. So let's see what we get. Oh, yay! So we've got this image here of a dog. So if we click on that, it'll actually redirect us over to that JPEG, and we can see some cute dogs at the beach, right? Now, let's say, for example, I want to get a bunch of these kind of images, 3 random images of dogs, on this same sheet. If I run this command again, it's going to overwrite what's already here. So what you can do is change to output options, and you can click on append, and then we can manually run again 2 more times to get 2 more images, right? Now, lastly, Google Sheets has a cool feature that we can use to actually display images directly in the sheet. So if we can start by taking our columns and making them a little bit larger. And then inside of the column where we want to display the image, we can say equals image, and then reference the cell that contains that URL to the image. So once we hit enter, we'll see, oh, there's our doggies at the beach. And then we can drag this down and same thing. So we'll get some images of more doggy friends. So that's it. I hope that that has helped show you guys and gals a little bit about how to use API connector and how to just use free APIs in general, and some of the different tools that I use for being able to quickly look at that data. Thank you so much, and take care.